Hello, Kirsty.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good, thanking yourself.
I'm fine, thank you. What is Barbara? Hi, Barbara. Well, Raquel. Hello, Jose, Lydia. How are you
Hello, good
guys
morning.
doing? Good morning. Hello, Georgie.
Hi. Hello. Lydia in her car. Wow.
Lydia is traveling. Okay.
Good morning, everyone.
Hello.
Okay.
guys.
Hello,
Hi.
Riyadh. Hi.
Oh, that's right, Laura. We haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah.
Okay. We have Amy as well. Already. So, should we get started? So, today we need everybody's participation because the topic is a bit wide. So we would like to talk about it a little bit in general and then see where that leads us to concerning our teaching, our English teaching. So the question here is, how is education going to change in the next 10 years? And what is going to change and what is not going to change? Okay, now we're talking education, then we can specify a bit more about English, but as a wide theme, education. In the next 10 years, guys, what do you see? What's going to change? Is it going to be the same for any teaching, other sectors? How do you think it's going to change, and what do you think is not going to change, which is probably the hardest question? Anybody would like to give it a go? It's not going to change then? Education is not changing in the next 10 years? I'm sure something has to change. Kirsty, you've been here. You arrived to the first one. Let's start with your opinion, please.
I think a lot more education is going to be online based rather than in person now because of the pandemic. I think I see it moving that way, that it's going to become a lot more online than what it was previously.
Okay, that's certainly a reality, actually, that is already happening. Hello, Fiona, long time no seen. So let me ask you, since you haven't been with us for a long time, how do you think education is going to change in the next 10 years? What are your thoughts? I think you're muted, Fiona.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I didn't know you were asking me. Could you just repeat the question? I apologize.
Yes, of course, no problem. That way, people that have just joined can hear it as well. So what we want to go through today is our thoughts on how is education going to change in the next 10 years, as well as what is not going to change. So Kirsty was just mentioning about the online, which is already a reality. Would you like to add anything to that, Fiona?
Well, that's a very good question. Let me just try and have a think about that. Yeah, obviously, things have changed in the last few years to people working remotely. But I must admit that I think that teachers like us will always have the desire to meet certain students face to face. I've had experience of working both online and face to face with students, and I think that it's quite a healthy balance to maintain that. Let me have a little bit more of a think, and I will come back to you with regards to, specifics.
Okay, I like the word balance, okay, because obviously we all have in mind technology, online, it's the future. So maybe balance is, I like that word because maybe we do have to find some balance, depending also probably on the sectors, right? So one thing is teaching online, maybe English classes, and another thing is teaching online physical education at schools, right? That would be, there are different situations there. Venning, don't look down, look up. What are your thoughts? I want to hear you. Hi. What do you think?
Hello, sorry, I just got a message coming on my phone. Tell me the question again, Madam.
Okay, so our question today for everyone is,
The
how
future of
is
education.
education going to change in the next 10 years?
Yeah, I think probably, artificial intelligence will probably be, a threat or a help or a mixture of both, really.
Mhm.
I think that's what we have to sort of look out for, really. There will be a lot more use of artificial intelligence to, maybe try and take our jobs away.
Okay, so here we are increasing. Would anybody, thank you, Mark, and thank you, Fiona. So anybody, does anybody want to add something to this? Or Blanca, hello.
Hi guys, good morning. Yeah, I just want to say I think the big talk right now is all around artificial intelligence, not just in education, but they're talking about doctors, surgeries being performed just through artificial intelligence and everything that can be done through artificial intelligence. But I don't know, I do think there are going to be huge changes because right now children in schools are using ChatGPT to do all of their work for them, right? So I think we are going to have to adapt and find a way to, I don't know, to stop that. But I do think that ultimately there's something about us that's human and we want the human touch. So I think that that's always going to be necessary.
I think that's a great point. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so we're getting there because it can't all be robotic and artificial, etc. Where do students need that human touch that Blanca is talking about? What is she possibly referring to? Anyone? Blanca, how do you understand that merging between human touch in classes online, even though we're using technology? How would
honestly, as simple as just having a smile, having someone that, or I don't know, you see a student and they're clearly really tired, and you recognize that in them. That's something that I think a machine will never be able to pick up on, and I think we'll always kind of search for that, just the connection, I guess, that a teacher can provide, or just, I don't know, you get to know your students and just by a look on their face if they've understood or if they haven't, and that I think a machine will never be able to replace.
That's right. That's like an immediate reaction, right?
Yeah.
Immediate knowledge acquired by the teacher, living the experience with the student, right? As opposed as a robotic thing. So that's definitely. So that we can say something that will not change. Okay, that human touch, whichever way technology helps us in a particular way, and obviously that human touch is absolutely, to me, I so much agree with you, Blanca, imperative for the well-being. So okay, let's see if Red Miller can wake our brains up a bit with
my beautiful sentence.
With your with a beautiful sentence or quote.
My beautiful, yeah, we call them now beautiful sentences. So, okay, so before my beautiful sentence, before I share it, just again, the context here. Why are we asking all these questions? And especially why the question today is what will change and what will not change? Now, either we ask and answer these questions, guys, or else someone else is going to do that for us. Now, the difference is enormous. If we answer them, we're building the future. If someone else is answering them, then we're following someone else's thoughts and dreams. Now, it's either you or someone else will be. And I always think it has to be us. We can do that. So now, really, when we talk about what do you think will happen or not going to happen in 10 years, I hope that you answer for yourself not only about the tools or the resources that we're going to use, or whether quite logical answers about whether online or in person, whether machines or us, but it's more than that. It's about you personally. Will you be teaching? Will you be necessary? Will people want to learn with teachers? Will people want to learn in a different way? In what way? So make it a bit more about yourselves when you answer this question. Basically, you need a roadmap, and it's either you building it or otherwise you will do someone else's journey. So today and always, the idea of Oxinity is that education needs transforming. We all agree. We all know that there is a big problem there of inefficiency. The big problem of inefficiency comes from us being aware of students' results when it's too late after the exam. And on top of that, very few of us would say, as a teacher, I failed. If my students fail, I failed. No, it's not that. People would think students fail, not us. We continue teaching. So this cannot be the future of education, at least in my humble opinion. But I'm going to use an entrepreneur, probably one of the #1 entrepreneurs nowadays, the founder of Amazon, and I'm going to share and show you what he thinks about well, when he's asked some questions. So he says, I very frequently get the question, what's going to change in the next 10 years? I almost never get the question, what's not going to change in the next 10 years? And that second question is actually the more important of the two, because you can build a business strategy around the things that are stable in time. And then he continues, in our retail business, we know that customers want low prices. And I know that's going to be true 10 years from now. They want fast delivery, they want vast selection. It's impossible to imagine a future 10 years from now where a customer comes up and says, Jeff, I love Amazon, I just wish the prices were a little higher. Or I love Amazon, I just wish you'd deliver a little more slowly. Impossible. Now, think about it. So he has built an empire out of the question, what is not going to change? What am I doing now that is stable? And on this premise, what can I keep for the next 10 years? It's very powerful if you think that way. If you build your career, your path around this, rather than asking yourself what is going to change so that I can do the same or I can adapt. Now, with this idea in mind, now, what answers will you provide, guys? For instance, the first question, are teachers going to be necessary at all? And once we answer that, are you going to be necessary? That's a hard one. It's a very hard one. Fiona.
Hi, the first thing that comes to mind when we talk about what's not going to change is students are always going to want high quality teaching.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you compare that to the Amazon situation, you know, their customers are always going to want low prices and they're always going to want fast delivery. So in the education world, students are always going to want high quality teachers who understand what it is that they need and teachers who can deliver that. And that's never going to change.
That's one thing, but and it's great, and I agree. But look at Jeff Bezos. So he thought only on high quality, he wouldn't have had the empire. So he thought he put in the price into the equation. Why? Why is that? And we are only looking for quality. This is a mistake. It's true, but it's a mistake only because because we have to think of both.
Yeah, I get you. We have to think of the whole package, don't we?
I mean, he did,
yeah.
and it worked fine with him.
Yes,
So
as consumers always look at the entire package of what they're buying. It's not just the quality of the service or the product. It's also how it's delivered. Is it the right thing for me? It's a multitude of factors that all come together to make that decision as to whether you're going to go with that. And that's the same in education when you're making a choice.
Yes, it's absolutely true. Absolutely true. But okay, so let's hear Lydia, and then we'll go back to that. Yeah, Lydia, over to you.
Yeah, hello. I'm very much in the same line as Fiona. If I'm just confusing the names because sometimes I don't know much. Yeah, great. Yeah. For me, and then I will go back to the quotes that you mentioned about Amazon. For me, the future is so uncertain because now if we think about languages and the education in the field of languages, the linguistic field, I mean, it's amazing because languages are alive. Languages are also stick to the changes. Society changes, language changes. So it's an organic process. And I take it like that, as something organic that makes me grow intellectually, because that's what I feel passionate about. And for me, the students are these motivational, the part of this equation that makes me grow. And hence, I have this always humble approach to my students. Of course, I know more than them because I studied longer and I invested more time in training myself, in providing the right pronunciation, the right grammar, and of course I consider myself the leading role in a class. But I like this feedback. I like feeling the students are bringing something to this journey for me. And as for the Amazon quote, well, I've got my personal opinion about the empire of Amazon. Of course, for Bezos, that's working really good. And the question of quality, we could also debate about that. Well, let's see how motivated the Amazon workers are. I don't know. I mean, I think building an empire, it's what's the cost of building that empire. We would open up an ideological debate about Amazon and the way that empire is built and so on and so forth. But headline for me is the journeys ahead of us is as organic and as amazingly interesting, subject to changes along the way. And that's what really keeps a teacher motivated. That's my opinion about it.
Okay, no, that's great. And it's it's true. But so we can build Amazon or not. We personally are not following this strategy. We personally, we're not like Amazon. We're much more like Alibaba. But this is another story. Because Alibaba is empowering the small players to compete big. So I'm not taking Amazon Jeff Bezos quote because I want to be like him. Not at all. The business model is quite different, and yet the guy has considered two things and he's built his business around them. It definitely works for him. So if he has been able to build a business on the premises of what will not change, and he's realized that people will want low prices and efficiency, and he has achieved both, because there is no one more efficient actually than Amazon. You order something now, you have the delivery this afternoon or tomorrow. They're super efficient. And prices, well, they keep them low, or at least people, when they want to go for low prices, they check Amazon. So this is one thing. So there is no comparison between us, not necessarily. But yet, to imagine your future without asking yourself what is going to change and what is not going to change is like not being part of it. So once more, what do you think is not going to change? And Fiona gave us an answer. People will want quality. This is one thing. But is it the only thing? Because if people want quality, then I'll tell you, I'll challenge you. Internet has made it possible for people to access a lot of people, a lot of teachers. We've spoken about it. So the tool that is enabling us to connect with the whole world, that same tool, makes it very challenging for us to keep the prices high. It's a reality. So we cannot think, or it would be at least, if I were to build, if I'm a teacher and I were to build my career based on I'm going to keep prices high and quality high, I know that I will fail in one of the things. I will probably keep quality high, and we are to see that, but I'm not going to be competitive. So my weak point will be that, not having thought of that. You see, and teachers tend, sorry guys, all of you tend to neglect that part. You forget about it as though it's never existent, and it's the crucial part of both. All these romantic ideas are possible if you if you realize that people will want low prices. So if it was possible for Jeff Bezos, it should be possible for us. This is it. If we are blind to the idea that people will want low prices, we're going to die, metaphorically speaking. We will have a business that is going to die. Why? Because there are a lot of providers from other time zones, from other parts of the world that have thought of this, exactly of this. Actually, what they rarely think about is quality, and it doesn't matter. They thrive. So, okay, once again, let's think of both, and let's acknowledge that people are not going to change in the desire for quality and low price. It's a reality, isn't it? How do we go about it then? Are you going to be necessary? Let's answer. This is very hard. It's very hard. Am I going to be necessary tomorrow? It's very hard to answer that. And if the answer is yes, why? And if the answer is, so come on. Who would want to give it a go? I'm going to be necessary because.
Okay, I'll go for the yes, and somebody can go
Yeah.
for the no, and we can have a debate if you want. But
Yeah.
of course, we're going to be necessary always, because first of all, knowledge is transmitted from person to person, not from machines to person. If we think the machines can do that, who developed the machines and who put all those algorithm stuff in the machines? Machines, as Blanca said before, there's some things that they can't catch, such as the facial expressions and whatever. When we teach, we know when a student wants to be challenged and what they don't want to be challenged. A machine won't not know that. It's true that with technology, we can have a lot of independent learning, a lot of that, because there's all the information is out there, but the students need someone to confirm that where they got is correct or not. You will all, because there'll always be someone who knows and someone who doesn't know. And maybe the person who doesn't know has a lot of things that he can study on his own, but he will always need a confirmation. So like an interactive system, but with another person. There's a famous quote, beautiful phrase, the teacher tells you where to look, but not tell you what to see. But then on the other hand, if a teacher says, this is another phrase from Asian philosophy, that's the moon. People don't look at the finger, they look at the moon. Why? Well, this is also expressing why the teacher is necessary also to clarify. I do think that there's going to be many, many more individualized processes, and students are going to be more involved in their learning because of all these, actually like globalization. They have information is available for them like instantly on the internet, but the teacher is always going to be like the wise one, the one who knows, and the one that can confirm if that acquired knowledge is correct or not. How can the learner know that he has understood? How can he know? How can he confirm that? So maybe in a different, the role might be different, and it might not be so much as the passive learner who just sits and listens. he will be probably more and more involved in his learning, and that's really, it's cool, it's better, it's a better learning experience. But maybe the teacher will just push him there, here or there, or actually confirm. And whatever the case is, in terms of learning English, what will always be there, people want to learn how to speak. That will never change, never. And the teacher maybe needs to give them that, touch of the security that they know how to speak and that they're acquiring the content. So teachers will always be necessary, even if it's through imitation or, looking at them or whatever. But yeah, I vote yes.
Okay, so before we hear Lydia, just want to challenge you a little bit. Who do you think can describe Oxinity better, myself or ChatGPT?
You.
Well, no, ChatGPT.
But see, no, I don't believe it.
Do the trial.
Not for me. Okay, I will do the trial, and I will bring it to you, and I'll point out the mistakes.
I did it, and I myself asked ChatGPT to describe Oxinity, and I was wow. So it was amazing.
Okay, but here's another thing then, because I remember I was looking for ChatGPT things. I was like, Josie, this is not working, and she said, Georgina, you have to put the input correctly. So another aspect of the thing is, where are we going? Maybe teachers don't know where we're going, right? Because there's all these amazing tools, but they require sort of like digital literacy for learners to use them. In my case, it wasn't there. But so, the teacher still has to be there in a way. I need Josie to teach me how to use that, right? So that teaching and learning is still there. But ChatGPT might be right. I will check, and I will, of course,
you will be amazed
and everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so ChatGPT wins, at least that. But I also think that teachers will be necessary. So don't take me wrong. No, there is, we will be there for the time being and for the future. Absolutely. But over to you, Lydia, and then Mari Carmen and Blanca.
I'm in the same page as Georgina, definitely, and I'm going to give you more grounds for your opinion. Actually, what ChatGPT cannot do is tell the difference in the pragmatic feel of English. ChatGPT can tell you a lot about things, but maybe it cannot catch the irony of a sentence, or it cannot catch some cultural, regional way of saying or expressing, idioms, all these things. It's just on the human domain, because that's subject to a part of our brain, on the cognitive part of our brains, that ChatGPT cannot definitely do. And I'm going to give you just a very short example that sometimes I encounter when I'm teaching English. At least when I was learning and I was a learner, and in the UK, we've got a lot of British teachers here. They say a lot, bless the child. You're just engaging in a conversation, and they use a lot, bless. And I heard my sister-in-law saying bless all the time. And I thought, oh, she's so religious, this bless thing all the time in their mouth. And I'm not religious at all. So I was reluctant to use it. And I was like, how would I say bless in that context? Well, in Spanish, of course, what do we say? Ay, qué mono, ay, pobrete, right? These sentences that we have. But it's not exact translation. Que mono is not the same as bless you or bless him. It's not the same. So there you go. ChatGPT, I don't think would notice a difference in that.
Give it some time, because the most important capacity of artificial intelligence is it learns how people learn. So it learns all the time and faster than us. So, and if not, I remember when we started using one of those automated translations like Google Translate at the beginning, was pretty much, you couldn't rely on it. Right now, Google Translate, DeepL, these are brilliant tools they have learned, because everything now is digitalized. So give it some time. They will learn the pragmatics and the cultural nuances too. Give it some time, and yet you will have always value. So it's not because of that. It's not there. We will not be able to outbeat artificial intelligence. But yeah, you're right, we have created it. So we're going to use it as an aid, always. But it's not where your value will stay. Believe me, it's not there. If you realize that even sometimes people will have to, we have to go to the machine and check for, okay, so what does it mean? I'll give you an example. Yesterday, I was watching a pitch from, well, the guys that won South Summit. And in the QR, in the QR session, she was referring to RR. What is RR? I don't know what an RR is. Well, I learned it. But it's because artificial intelligence, in this case, helped me understand that it's an abbreviation that is used. I forgot what it is, but I understood it yesterday. So it's like something that has to do with revenue. My point is that the more we use something, the more artificial intelligence will get these things. So, but hold on. Instead of me explaining, Blanca, you wanted to say something, and Mari Carmen, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, when I raised my hand, it was about the question where you said who can explain Oxinity better, you or ChatGPT, and I'm sure that ChatGPT, because it takes all the information, it can synthesize it faster than we can. I'm sure it can describe all the technical aspects of it faster. But this Friday talk, for example, ChatGPT will never know what motivates all of us to connect at 11 o'clock. ChatGPT will never know the emotional component that allows us to all keep going, you know, or the financial or whatever it is. It will never have that information. It can't express those feelings unless if we have put them out there somewhere first. And that's instantaneous. That's minute to minute. And I think where the teachers come in is it might be just our personality that gets a student to connect to class that day, instead of deciding to cancel and choose a different one the next day because they don't feel like it. Right? Or, okay, I'll just go in and search the information on ChatGPT. No, they want to connect because they want to be with us, because we're all always searching for that connection, I think.
Definitely.
And ChatGPT will never be able to say that.
So, yeah, exactly. So this is something that is not going to happen in 10 years now. So no matter how smart ChatGPT gets, we will have that. I absolutely agree with you. Yeah, definitely. So, Georgina, over to you.
I'm just really, really challenged right now. What did you write on ChatGPT that explained what Oxinity is? Do you know the term? I don't know how to use it.
I think, I don't remember, but it was something like, can you explain the methodology of Oxinity or something like that?
Okay. All right. And then the other thing is what, like Blanca was saying, I think we're talking about different types of skills. So we have like technical skills that can really well be put into variables or data. We have data such as words and structures and vocabulary and mathematical equations and scientific references and physical. Yeah. But then there's another part of knowledge that is not there. For example, if I ask ChatGPT, what's the taste of chocolate? It can't tell me what that is.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, I know apparently I'm against ChatGPT. Yeah. But there are things that AI can never do. Yes, they can reproduce the behavior of cancer cells to, find a remedy for this disease. Yeah, that's amazing. But there's other things that they can't do. I don't know. I just want to say that.
That's it. So experience, guys. You have experience, and you have experiences that are like a magnet for people that want to learn. This is it. And this will remain in 10 years. Of course, it will. Okay, so, but okay, Josie, over to you, and then another question to think about.
Mari Carmen, did you have something
Oh,
to
Mari
say
Carmen,
first?
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Josie, go ahead, please.
It's totally tying into everything else, but one word I'm thinking of is passion. So I just quickly typed that into ChatGPT and I'm like, yeah, it reels out the information, but okay, imagine me joining Oxinity as a teacher and I've got an AI avatar and it's like, this is Oxinity, this is what we do. It can't simulate the energy of like you, Radmila, or Jonathan, or Georgina, who have put so much energy and passion into making this happen. And that's the thing that made me want to join Oxinity, not the actual methodology. The methodology is like the sort of the foundation of it, but that energy and that passion, like I don't think AI will ever be able to mimic that authentically.
I wonder if we ask, but we'll do that test afterwards. Let's ask afterwards. Let's ask GPT what won't change in education in 10 years. Let's see what it says.
I'll do it now. I'll do it now.
So, yeah, Mari Carmen, over to you.
Yeah, well, I'm actually very happy that you know, the GPT knows how to define Oxinity so well, because if it does, it means that something has been done before that. Otherwise, it would have not the opportunity to define anything. So that's fantastic. I find it recognizes everything that's been done. So that's great. And if it's accurate, even better. What I just wanted to add is a small detail. Actually, it's not answering what's going to happen in 10 years, but what I wish could happen. And this is that I hope that technology moves along with the reality, because the problem with technology is that sometimes it goes faster than we can comprehend or we can adapt. And if it happens, I don't think it's going to work. It will probably go back to the old times. I think it's very important that technology provides as well what has to change in education, and particularly learning English, and it is the how. So when it was very nice that Josie said that the energy that you saw is what caught you here, right, and made you come, and that's fantastic, and I so totally agree with it. But it always has to be with the right teaching system, which understands the reality of society, of course, using technology, but it has to go in parallel. So my wish here is that we use technology and continue using technology to adapt to the fact that the whole world will always need to learn English and speak English and understand different accents and be able to have the experience of it, not just writing it, not just reading it, not just watching things, and really at once leave behind the old methodology with exams that we all very well know, we've said it a million times, don't prove anything at all.
Okay. Let me take this this last thought of yours, because I agree. But look, there are systems that have built their business model on that premise that even though exams or certifications don't prove anything at all, there are systems like, sorry, but at least here in Spain, language schools have done it for a long time now. They have built their empires, small empires, based on the premise that we're going to need certifications and that it takes an average of 10 years to go from CAT, PET, I don't know, first, advanced, proficiency, and so on. So they've made out of a very inefficient solution, they've made a business model. To me, this is it. So going back to Fiona's idea of quality, to me, quality is efficiency. To me, quality is either we are efficient and we cannot claim quality if eventually the result is 15 years of studies. I have my advanced certification or proficiency in English, and yet I pronounce chocolate. You know, that's not efficient. That's not quality. Something along the way has failed tremendously. So if we take efficiency as one of the things that will remain, and I agree with you, Fiona, that people will want quality and that quality equals efficiency, then okay, so let's answer about efficiency first, and then we'll go some considerations about the price. So efficiency. Turns out that the more efficient you are, okay, no, before that, turns out that when people realize that learning a language can be done only and or mainly through listening, a lot of inputs, listening, it's a game changer. Because when people realize that, it changes the whole thing. It means that instead of trying to learn a language for 10 years, we can learn it in much less. So that realization changes it all. Okay, so we have to be aware that efficiency is not necessarily, and models based on efficiency equals a lot of students being with me for many, many, many years. This is not going to continue. This is not going to be true anymore. It's not true anymore. So the paradox of efficiency, if you think about it, is that the more efficient you are, the less you are necessary. This is the paradox of efficiency. And we cannot undo that by thinking, oh, right, so I'm going to provide a solution that is not so efficient so that I have the client for longer. It's not going to work. It's going to, again, die. So we realize that the more efficient we became with artificial intelligence, precisely because we identify what students know and what they don't know, and we fill the gaps, the more efficient we became, the lower the retention is. The student retention is, which is a paradox, and it may be seen as a problem. But it's a good problem to have. It's a problem that means that you've done things right. So when data tell you, okay, so you've reduced learning time because you've given the right strategy to your learners, then you're very necessary for a shorter time. But what if we don't just think of English as the only thing that we can teach? What if the same principle of efficiency and price is applicable to all the journey, all the learning process, all the teaching process that a student will undergo from grade 1 to 12? What if we think, okay, so if I manage to teach you English in less than a year and a half, I must be able to teach you other subjects with the same approach, equally and in an equally efficient way. So if you think about it, then we can say, oh, right, as educators, it's much better and it's much fairer for the students to provide an efficient solution that will last shorter, but then we can create more options, more solutions for more subjects that are going to accompany the student along their journey, their studies. I think it's much more ethical and feasible and better, and that's how we can create a brighter future for our students and for ourselves. But we're not creating chronic students on one subject. You see the difference? So the difference is the difference between a business model that is based on, I'll take this kid, 6-year-old, grade 1, and I'm going to have them until they finish school, attending my language school. To me, that is not going to last. And I know that there is a clash of interests, and language schools are partners of ours too. And apparently there is a clash of interests. And yet, if we realize that people will want the most efficient solution and the cheapest, and we solve it, and we provide answers for it, we are going to be shaping the future, not other people. To me, a business model that creates that all that achieves is a certification after 15 years is inefficient. So the solution is, all right, and if you are able to communicate that, guys, if you teachers are able to communicate it, you're going to definitely thrive. So how can you be efficient? How can you be efficient? This is my question for you. How can you be efficient? Can you be efficient in one-to-one classes? And how? Can you be efficient in group classes? And how? How can you be efficient? Jose, how about you? How can you be efficient?
Hi. It's a very difficult question. Because I think it really depends on the student, but if
Jose?
we speak, yeah, do you hear me?
No, it doesn't depend on the student. It depends on us. It depends on us.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the case that you are, because if we speak generally, like, you can think how to be efficient, but the way you are efficient with one student can change to the way that you have, you're facing another class with another student, something
Yeah.
different. I don't know.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
have to think about it. Like,
but yeah, think about this. When a student fails, who fails? Who
Mhm.
has failed? Yeah, this is
Yeah, the teacher. Yeah, always. Yes. Yeah,
that's
yeah,
it.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
I have no
so
doubt about that. Yeah.
that's it.
Um,
How can you? Well, the question is for everyone, so
yeah,
I'm just challenging here, but
trying to think about it because it's difficult.
yeah.
I don't know.
So
Um,
Amela, how about you? How can you be efficient?
With teaching wise, what I like to do is I like to stay current with what the students, because I've primarily taught younger students, so they're more into Snapchat and emojis and different GIFs. So what I've done throughout my teaching time, I've just acclimated to them to make teaching more fun and educational. So I'm not just teaching them words or vocabulary, but incorporating games, so it's actually fun for them. So same thing that you're doing with Minecraft.
Minecraft,
Which
yeah,
I think is wonderful.
That's it. Okay, yeah, it's true, it's true. But and we'll talk about Minecraft, but we have to, I think that to these two questions, and if it's not in this session, we'll continue in our next Friday talk, but we have to answer those. So in order for us to shape the future, we have to answer these two questions: how we can be more efficient and how we can be cheaper. And now, before you get mad at me, I'm not saying you being paid less. No, because I think you should be, your rates have to be very high, So what I'm challenging you here is to answer for your students, because if you answer this for your students, you're going to get a lot of them. So how can you be the efficient solution and the cheapest solution? And in brackets, think without having a low rate per hour, always. Yeah. So this is the question that we have to answer. Amy, I think, Amy, you wanted to say something?
Yes, you were mentioning about what is more efficient, as teaching one-on-one or in group classes.
Yeah.
It's always to teach in group classes because then you're teaching more than one student, but also it's to utilize the technology that we have on hand. We want to know what the student needs, and we always, with what we have at Oxinity, we know exactly what our students need constantly in every lesson and after every lesson. That's why we're rating the activities, seeing how the student is retaining the information. So really, we want to be teaching them in group classes and using what we have on hand.
So this is the answer that we have given. It's true. But, and I, absolutely, this is the answer that Oxinity is giving. So yeah, thank you for mentioning it. And yet let me insist that it's a good idea that you guys also answer this for yourself. Amy, if you really embrace this, I can only celebrate it. If you really believe it, I can only celebrate it. But sooner or later, for all of you guys, you have to answer this question for yourself. So how can I be more efficient? How can I be cheaper? Okay, so, and furthermore, if you are able to explain, to tell the student, look, I know what you're looking for, because I know now and in 10 years, people are going to be looking for you, and all people are going to be looking for the efficient solution and the cheapest solution. Turns out I have it. Try it. Yeah. If they want something else, of course we listen. Of course we say yes or no according to their request. So if they want and you're fine with it. If they want a one-to-one class and at 12 at night and you are fine with it, okay, that's great. But you have to think what people will want from you always and what is in your interest. Let me ask, we have a guest, Sergey. Hi, how are you? Can you hear us? I can't hear you. Don't worry. Yeah, you're muted but it's okay. How about you, Natasha? Can you hear us? No? Okay, and fair enough.
I think Jose wanted to say something.
Oh yeah, over to you, Jose. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, because can you hear me? Yeah, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so because something came to my mind. When you asked me that question, I was thinking more like in teaching methods and stuff. But actually, the very basic thing for me when I teach is to make the students feel that they want to go back to class. They want to keep going with the learning English, and because it's something doesn't have to be necessarily fun, but just that something that makes them feel well, that makes them feel that they are evolving somehow, improving in something, feeling satisfied. So for me, it's key to, I prefer, in this example, I prefer to teach a little kid 4 words very well, and he or she can have fun with these 4 words, playing games and stuff, rather than teaching him or her 10 words because it's the minimum required. And I have to teach them 10 words, but they don't want to go back to class, So I think that improves the efficiency of teaching. So finding the way that they can just want to go back to class.
Okay, so look, all of us have to answer, and you guys have to answer this for yourselves. So Amy seems to have found the answer, and it works for her because when it flows naturally. So the answer that she's providing works for her. Now you definitely have to think when you want to when you have a customer, a client in front of you, you have to know what they think and you have to provide your answer to that. So you have to think that and you try it, you'll see how well it will work for you next time. So try saying something like, I know what you're thinking. I know what you're looking for. Probably it is a very efficient solution at a very low price. Okay, so if you're ready with the answer for you, then you are going to transmit it correctly to the student. And turns out that this type of communication with students in social media and so on is the one that is going to click. This is it. When you understand and when you provide, it can be directly and indirectly. If you have a solution for the price issues of students, if you have a solution for the inefficiency in education, if you have the answers, and guys, a tip from me, it is okay. I understand you're vocational and your answers are emotional, but people need to understand the approach, not so much the emotions. The emotions, all these bonds that you're talking, and Blanca was describing it brilliantly, that magic happens once you get to know people, once you get them in the classrooms. But before that, it's not about this. They know it, but are you the one? Yeah, we know it. So we have like two parties that they don't know each other. They know that it's true, but are you the one or not? So when you tell them that you know what is efficiency, on how you convey efficiency and how you solve their price issues, then you will be the selected option. And if you neglect one of those, they will definitely go and look for the one. They may not even realize it, but they will want to find the one that has both answers: the quality and the price, the efficiency and the price. So what's the price solution that you can provide? Let's answer this one. What's the, Natasha, did you want to say something?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to respond to how we can make their learning efficient, but not on the price part.
Yeah.
I think making their learning efficient is by creating a scenario where they can relate, where they feel like, okay, my teacher understands that I'm probably a pilot. I need to learn this type of language, and hence she relates to my life, instead of just teaching them, okay, we're going to learn about firefighter type of terminology. That means that this teacher does not relate to me, so they won't feel as much willingness to learn the language. So hence our power as teachers is the fact that we are able to relate to the learner and make things and make learning for them relatable.
Yeah, that's true, but it's not. It doesn't prove efficiency. So you identify what students need, okay, but efficiency is fast results or or accelerating results. So one thing is the class dynamic. I think that these two concepts are often mistaken. It is true that with empathy we learn faster. I give you that. It's true, but first of all. This is, I remember in my university days having teachers that were amazing people and highly inefficient. It's a fact. So yeah, they were there, university professors that I thought, okay, what a nice person. I could have a coffee with her or him, and that's that. But it wasn't efficient. It wasn't the efficient solution for me. So you have to be able, it's not the answer. Not until you realize, and the answer that you will find is very short, very, very concise, and that answer will click with students because it will show them that you really understand how they feel. For instance, sorry, I'm going to, we'll continue next week because I think that we need to find these answers. So you guys need to find these answers. But look, when we are asked what Oxinity is, I mean, we can sit and talk about it for hours, but this is an inefficient explanation because when you cannot explain something in one sentence, less than 10 words, this is not an efficient explanation. And it took us years of trying to find exactly how to express who we are and what we do so that people understand the reach of the project. And the same is with you. So today you're not ready, and it's fine. It took me years and years of practicing to explain what we do at Oxinity. And I start with it every single Friday talk, by the way. I don't know if you have noticed, but I do it. So what I say is something like that. It can vary, but what I say is the question that moves us is how to transform education, taking care of the needs of the client with a sustainable business model for teachers. And that took me years to realize. Yeah, I could have gone for long answers and for motivational answers, etc., 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 and yet it wouldn't click. But when you say that you want to transform education, taking care of the students' needs, and with providing a sustainable business model for teachers, then you're explaining the essence. I want you to find the same answer for price or for efficiency. Today, we didn't find it. It's fine. No problems. We were close to it. We'll find it next week. Yeah, because we have to go now. But it's not over. So the answer is over there. And once you find it, you will see that it will be a game changer for you. But make no mistake, today you don't have it. You don't know how to be efficient. You don't know. You have an idea, slight idea, but you don't know yet. When you are able to summarize it, Georgina knows it. When you're able to summarize it in one sentence, then you'll get it. Okay? So we'll continue next week, but believe me, and I don't want to be, how do you call that? Aguafiestas? What is it?
Party pooper. Party pooper.
Party pooper. I don't want to be a party pooper, but I want to challenge you because I think that we will benefit from it. You know, people are giving your answers out there, but those who are, teachers are giving these answers nowadays and they're fine. I like them. It shows me that you're vocational teachers. Now, people that are going to define your business tomorrow are not giving these answers. So we need different answers. Let's leave it here, but we'll find them because the potential is so huge that we're going to find them. Okay, so we have to understand what students need with the help of artificial intelligence. That's on one hand. We have to collect data and transform it into content for teachers. That's how we can become more efficient. And we do that at the best price. This is the answer, but we're going to continue next week, okay? And in order to understand it better. Okay, guys. Well, it was very, very interesting. It really was. And we'll continue next week for sure. Georgina, over to you.
I wanted to clap, but I don't know. I didn't find the button. So
It worked. You clapped. Well done.
yeah, and if I
Okay.
think I don't know, but if I think I know, it's because I try to listen every day. I just do, you know, so if we listen, as we always say, it's always good. But I think I know the answer, but it's just something you said.
I just
actually,
gave you
so.
the answer. Really, with artificial intelligence, believe me, this
But
is it.
mine was a beautiful phrase.
Okay, well, mine is least beautiful, but it's more efficient. So look, with artificial intelligence, we can transform what students don't know, this information, we transform it into content for teachers. And that's how we're more efficient. This is it. Okay, and we do that at the best price. Not so beautiful,
Well,
but
more
definitely
efficient. Yeah,
more
of course.
efficient.
Yeah, like ChatGPT. Yeah.
Like ChatGPT. If chat is listening, yeah, if the chat is listening, then next time maybe you will read it. Otherwise, we'll paste it for the chat. Mari Carmen, over to you.
Very, very quickly. I know we have to go. Just a small detail. The fact that we don't have chronicle students, the fact that our system works better and accelerates the learning process doesn't mean that the business is going to go low because they're going to leave quicker. It just simply means that the flow of students is going to increase by this efficiency together with the price. In case, you know, it could enter somebody's head saying, if we're so good and we teach them so quickly because we accelerate, maybe, you know, it's not profitable. It is because the flow will change.
Mm-hmm. Very true. And remember that we started something, it's called Spindles, and Spindles is the way to solve or to provide efficient solutions in other subjects too. So we kind of started, we thought, okay, what I've done for English, I can do it for other subjects. And if you find my solution efficient, I can accompany you throughout your whole school life. So yes, definitely. But we'll see that more in depth next week if you want. Yeah. Just remember this, guys. Yeah, we collect data from students, we transform it into information and content for teachers at the best price. I'll tell ChatGPT this. I'll ask him, what is Oxinity? If he doesn't answer or she doesn't answer that, I'll tell him, look, this is it. And I would type this. Let's see.
I just asked it to get the 10 words. So I read it out quickly to finish.
Okay.
I actually added a word, so it's 11, because I think the word affordable is really important.
Yeah.
But affordable, personalized English learning through innovative technology and flexible interactive methods.
we can improve that.
It calls
No.
it teachers coaches, not teachers.
Teachers coach it. Oh, not.
Yeah, well, mine says coaches, not teachers.
Yeah, we will next time the chat will provide a better answer. Okay, so thank you very much, guys. That was amazing. Yeah, I'll see you next week.
Okay.
Thanks
Thank
everyone.
you.
Bye.
Ciao.
Have a great
Bye.
weekend.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.